how do you fix The Last of Us 2 without destroying what makes it unique? 2020's Empathy Simulator encouraged you to find the good inside everyone by personally checking their insides. Since I started rewriting games we wanted to love, this has been the most requested title, and it's not even close.
There's not a single aspect of the game, part 2, that I would change. And anytime someone comes up to me and says, you know, I didn't really like what they did to Joel, I was like, great, awesome. Tell me a better version of the story. And to this day, they still can't.
Challenge accepted. In this video, we're going to review and fix The Last of Us 2 without changing locations, mechanics, characters, or major story beats. But we are going to remix how the story is told. So we're going to spoil all of The Last of Us 2, including what I think happens in the ending. And if you've played 2, you know everything reverberates off the ending of the first game, so we're spoiling that too. Starting now. In The Last of Us 1, we open on Joel Miller and his daughter Sarah in the savage wasteland of Texas. When an outbreak of the highly contagious cordyceps fungus rips through town, turning anyone infected into raving, bitey lunatics.
You shot him.
Sarah.
I saw him this morning.
Listen to me. There is something bad going on. We have got to get out of here. Do you understand me?
Joel attempts to flee with Sarah and his brother Tommy, but their escape ends in tragedy.
We need help. Stop! Please. It's my daughter. I think her leg is broken.
Stop right there!
Okay. We're not... Shit. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. God. Listen to me. I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right. I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. No. No, 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 please.
20 years later, the cordyceps fungus has consumed the world. Anyone not infected lives in quarantine zones in major cities under the rule of what's left of the military, known as Fedra. But resistance groups inside those quarantine zones look to overthrow Fedra, including the Fireflies. Joel and his partner Tess are smugglers working in Boston, and they take a job from the Fireflies' leader, Marlene.
We're smuggling her?
I want Joel to watch over her.
Whoa, I don't think that's
I'm
the
not
best
Ellie.
idea.
him.
Bring a 14-year-old girl to a drop point where she'll be taken west to an outpost in Salt Lake City.
What is the deal with you? You some bigwig's daughter or something?
Something like that.
Joel meets Ellie, and we learn why Marlene is so invested in her.
Why the hell are we smuggling an infected girl?
I'm not infected. I can explain.
You better explain fast.
Look at this.
I don't care how you got infected.
It's 3 weeks old.
No, everyone turns within 2 days, so you stop bullshitting.
It's 3 weeks. I swear.
Run!
Ellie is the first human immune to the cordyceps infection. She's been bitten, but never turned. Upon arriving at the drop point, their contacts are dead and Tess gets bitten.
Oh, Christ.
This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago, and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel.
So Joel reluctantly agrees to take Ellie west himself. Along the way, they learn to depend on each other and slowly develop a bond.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel. But I have lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you. So don't tell me that I would be safer with someone else, because the truth is I would just be more scared.
And Joel learns to love someone again for the first time since Sarah died. Upon arriving in Salt Lake City, Ellie nearly drowns and were knocked out by guards.
Welcome to the Fireflies. Sorry about that. They didn't know who you were.
When we come to, Marlene tells us Ellie is being prepped for surgery, and that surgery will help develop a vaccine. The end of the world might be in reach for the first time.
The hell you mean, surgery?
The doctors tell me the cordyceps, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. It's why she's immune. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine.
But it grows all over the brain.
It does.
But Ellie will not survive the surgery.
Find someone else.
There is no one else.
And why are you letting this happen?
Because this isn't about me, or even her. There is no other choice here.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that bullshit.
March him out of here. He tries anything, shoot him.
When I started streaming, friends asked me why people would watch me play a video game that they could be playing themselves, and I think the answer is to share a collective experience. And something I love to watch people experience for the first time is the final sequence of The Last of Us.
His heart is in the right place, but like this is just so wrong.
Here we go.
Oh no, are we gonna kill all the surgeons?
No.
Oh, holy crap, Joel. This is kind of messed up.
Get your fucking hands off her, man!
Sweet Jesus.
What are you doing? Get away.
Oh.
This is our future. Think of all the lives we'll save. Come any closer.
I don't want to kill doctors.
What are you going to do?
I mean it.
I don't want to kill you.
I mean, I just pressed triangle.
Oh, Joel.
The Fireflies got their delivery and they're showing Joel the door.
What the fuck you doing? Keep walking. I said keep walking. Where was the operating room? I ain't got time for this. Where? Top floor, the far end.
To finish The Last of Us, you have to commit a mass murder. You can be stealthy and keep your body count low, or you can blast your way through the hospital and leave no Firefly standing, ending many stories.
Jesus.
Doctor? What are you doing in here? I won't let you take her.
And starting another. The Last of Us 1's ending worked because it did two things well. One, it established Joel's motivations masterfully, so you never questioned why he opened fire on the hospital. You may or may not agree with what he did, but you know why he did it. Two, it never told you how to feel about Joel's decisions. You can't change them, that's what Joel chose. To see the ending, you have to finish his story. There are questions we'll never have the answers to. Could the Fireflies develop and distribute a vaccine? We don't know. But the game's creative director, Neil Druckmann, says they could have. If Marlene let Joel see Ellie and Ellie said she wanted to do this, would that have stopped him? We don't know. If they let Joel see Ellie and Ellie didn't want to die, would the Fireflies have let them leave? We don't know.
You just come after her.
But this ending is still iconic to this day because players still debate if what Joel did was right. Was this a brave rescue to save Ellie from being butchered by delusional fanatics? Or a selfish massacre by a deeply traumatized man who robbed the world of a cure because he couldn't lose his daughter a second time?
We found the Fireflies. Turns out there's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. People that are immune. There's dozens, actually. Ain't done 'em a damn bit of good, neither. They've stopped looking for a cure. I'm taking us home.
Swear to me that everything that you've said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Personally, I think Joel's actions were wrong, but I've spoken to a number of you who are also wrong. Even Troy Baker, the voice of Joel, said he didn't agree with Joel's actions until he became a father.
Okay.
And now he gets it. Because the game never tells you how to feel about it, the only correct interpretation is yours. What shocked players about The Last of Us 2 is the game isn't really about Joel or Ellie. A new character, Abby Anderson, is introduced for us to hate her in the first act. Then the game asks us to walk a mile in her shoes. Over the course of our time with her, could we understand her? Maybe relate to her? Maybe forgive her?
I became really intrigued with the idea of the cycle of violence and how like certain events would trigger acts of violence that then would beget more acts of violence. It's almost never satisfying. It never brings the person you love back. And despite you thinking it's going to bring some closure, it doesn't. We just need more empathy. Wouldn't it be awesome if we could create an experience that lets you safely explore those feelings?
Did the game successfully make us hate Abby? Yes. Everyone I knew hated Abby by the end of the first act, including me. But did we empathize with her by the end?
Can you take a look at her?
Making games is hard. Naughty Dog gave themselves a near impossible task, which hinged on players learning to love this character.
I haven't always done the right thing.
You're a piece of shit, Abby.
So much that we forget what she did to someone we actually love. And then complete an aimless campaign starring her with a redemption arc so flat it's a straight line, which is the only thing straight about this game. So to fix The Last of Us 2, we'll take the game's biggest twist and erase it. So what is wrong with The Last of Us 2 and how do we fix it?
I'm just a girl, not a threat.
Oh, Ellie. I think they should be terrified of you.
We open several years after the first game at the colony in Jackson, Wyoming. After an eventful evening at last night's barn dance, 19-year-old Ellie is the talk of the town, whether she wants to be or not.
I heard you had quite a night after I left.
She kissed me. It was just Dina being Dina. She didn't mean anything by it.
I was talking about your fight with Seth. Wait, you kissed Dina?
I thought this...
We're broken up 1 week and you make a move on my girl?
She was probably just trying to make you jealous. I would never... Oh, fuck, this is awkward.
I'm messing with you, man. I don't care. Get dressed.
You're the worst.
It's kind of fucked up you did that.
But the show must go on. There's infected in the forest and patrols need to clear them out. Tommy and Joel have been out there for hours and they need our help.
Look, I don't know what's going on with you and Joel.
Maria...
Guy really cares about you. And I'm sure he didn't mean to.
We're fine.
Jesse takes one route, Ellie and Dina take another. Compared to the chaotic opening of the first game when society collapsed, this is peacetime. This is comfortable. After years of uncertainty, this feels like home. We meet Abby. She's camped out with her friends who were all asleep except for Owen.
Grab your gear. I want to show you something.
What?
Trust me.
And the game wisely gives us some banter between them, setting up their relatable quirks. Abby is afraid of heights. She and Owen used to be in a relationship. They're friends now, but clearly there's still some residual feelings, especially when Abby learns Owen's new partner, Mel, is...
Mel's pregnant.
Oh. Okay.
It's not just that, though.
Should I say congrats? It's a fucking city.
Yeah. I saw an armed patrol go from town to an outpost over there. A few more outposts in between. They have electricity, guns.
Whatever this group is here for, they found it.
It's a lot of people. When everyone else sees this, they're gonna want to turn back.
We can convince him, right? I fucking knew I couldn't count on you.
Abby, I want what you want, but not at any cost.
So let's check out the reveal and the two big issues players had with the first act. Abby sets out on her own, but the storm picks up and she loses her way. Infected close in, and this might be it for her until...
Give me your hand! We're gonna have to run! There's too many of them! I'll cover you! Get going!
Joel and Tommy happen upon Abby while out on patrol. They're not out of the woods, but 3 guns are better than 1.
Hey, I'm Tommy. That's Joel. What's your name?
Abby.
Abby, are you okay? That ain't gonna hold. We gotta go back. We ain't outrun them all the way to Jackson. We need to barricade that door. Tommy, we cannot stay here. The horses ain't making it all that way.
My friends are at a mansion just north of here. It's fenced in. We have the whole perimeter secure.
It's a Baldwin place. I could work.
All right. I'll get the door.
All right. You ride with me. Come on.
And Abby knows where they could take shelter.
You scared us.
How you guys doing?
We're good. Thanks.
Yeah. Can I talk to you for a minute?
You want to get those saddles off?
No, it's all right. We'll just ride out the storm and get out of here.
Y'all got any brushes or a towel or anything?
You are nothing but lucky.
You have no idea.
How'd y'all get electricity in here?
Where the fuck have you been?
There are solar panels on the roof.
And who are these people?
How long y'all been here?
Since yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yep.
What are y'all doing out this way?
I'm just passing through.
You two live nearby?
We do. A few hours down the hill. Y'all should come back with us, restock before you head out.
Appreciate it. I'm Mel, by the way.
Tommy. This is my brother.
Joe.
And then Abby and her friends spring the trap.
Y'all act like you heard of us or something.
Because they have.
Laura?
All clear?
He's out.
Put him against the wall.
Joel Miller.
Who are you?
Guess.
Why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed? Get this over with.
You stupid old man. You don't get to rush this.
We waited for them for an hour. I was looking for their horses when I saw lights.
Maybe they just went back to town. Without being replaced. No way. How much of their region have you covered?
Not much.
Then we split up. Go at it from different sides. We can cover the whole thing in a few hours. Tommy! Shit. How do I get down there? Joel? Tommy?
Pin her down!
Get off me!
Get her hand!
Get the fuck off me!
You got her! Look, you got her! Okay?
You're gonna fucking die!
What's going on?
Let him go!
Who is that?
Let him
She
go!
snuck in.
Why aren't you posted up outside?
We didn't think anyone was gonna show up.
What the hell did you expect? We gotta get out of here before the whole town's on top of us. You're done.
You want what I want, right?
End it. Now.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up. Please stop. Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up. I'll fucking kill you.
Hold up, you remember this from the first game, right?
Easy. Holy shit. Help! Are we gonna help him?
Put your seatbelt on, Ellie.
Well, what about the guy?
He ain't even hurt.
This Joel walked right into that ambush? Really? Some have inferred Joel got careless after years of relative safety in Jackson, but that's on the creators to state, not you. Oh, and then we see this in a recent flashback.
I think I see a way through, but we got spores. Put your mask on.
Do I have to? It's just us.
What if we run into someone?
This moment feels unearned because Abby bungles her way into a revenge fantasy through dumb luck, and Joel's choices are inconsistent with what the first game established. The game missed its chance to show how cunning, strategic, and ruthless Abby's friends are, versus the volunteers in Jackson who spend half their patrol getting high and goofing off, sowing some real doubt about whether Ellie would be capable of taking them on. The only clue we have is some of them were wearing patches for the WLF, a militia group called the Washington Liberation Front, or for short, the Wolves.
Maria, I'm headed to Seattle. I wish I could let it go, but I can't. I have to bring these people to justice. Ellie's gonna try to come after me, but stop her. Take her guns, lock up the horses, maybe lock her up. Buy me some time so I can end this. Love you always, Tommy. He's gonna get himself killed.
He should have taken me with him.
I told the stable to let you out with your horse. Grab some ammo, too. Just, do me a favor and bring my dumbass husband home in one piece, please.
So Ellie and Dina leave for Seattle to find Tommy, track down the 8 people who murdered Joel, and get their revenge. And that's a pretty solid concept for a game, but there is room for improvement.
Hey, if you lived in the old world, what would you buy with all that money?
I don't know. Maybe a big farmhouse?
But you can get a farmhouse now.
Okay. What would you get?
A space shuttle.
Oh, that's right. Your astronaut thing.
Hey, it's cooler than a farmhouse.
A farmhouse is way more practical.
There are 3 conflicts in Ellie's story. The first is obvious, it's Ellie versus the wolves, or ultimately Ellie versus Abby.
That's the one who killed him.
Conflict 2 is more personal, Ellie's drive for revenge versus the toll this quest is taking on her. Which highlights the first problem with Ellie's campaign: we don't know Ellie's motivation. As the player, Joel died 15 minutes ago, and we're still raw from it. Ellie and Dina have been traveling for months. Seasons literally changed, but something within Ellie is pushing her to finish this, even at the cost of her own health or her friends. And if we don't understand why this matters to Ellie, we can't get invested in the outcome. Third, Ellie versus her friends.
I think I'm pregnant. What? Don't worry, it's not yours.
Dina reveals she's pregnant, and the physical toll that takes on her limits her helping Ellie in combat. Jesse's arrival complicates this further, as he can see the state Dina is in and will pressure Ellie to abort the mission. Good supporting characters should complement the hero, challenge the hero, or reveal more about the hero. Dina doesn't do any of these. Jesse challenges Ellie a little, but he's so passive that his support ultimately doesn't matter. When he and Ellie argue about heading to the aquarium to find Abby or the marina to help Tommy, Ellie is fine letting Jesse leave. These two need to have a larger impact on Ellie's mission and reveal more about her along the way.
Oh, hello. Sorry, the dinosaurs are busy right now.
What are you doing?
Oh, wait. One of the dinosaurs is here. Joel, it's for you.
Very funny.
That was pretty funny. Did you get it? It's because you're old.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
In Ellie's story, we get a series of flashbacks showing her relationship with Joel deteriorating after the first game. Starting here, we get a brief taste of The Last of Us 2 we all thought we were getting.
All right, come on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm gonna start guessing.
Do you want to spoil your surprise now?
Is it a dinosaur?
Including a brilliant way to show us Joel has taught Ellie how to swim.
Oops.
Holy shit, Joel. Oh my god, it is a dinosaur!
That it is.
Joel!
Surprise.
Holy shit. Oh, it's a motherfucking dinosaur.
What are you doing? Ellie, be careful.
I'm climbing a dinosaur! Ah!
Hey!
When players were asked what their favorite moment in The Last of Us 2 was, many cited this one, equating it with the giraffes in the first game.
What is this?
This is a thing that took a mighty effort to find.
It was a brief moment stoking wonder and care and love in a world that would never allow it to last.
Come on.
You said there were dozens of people like me. I've never met another immune person before. Have you?
Is now really the time for this?
We traveled across the entire country to bring me to the Fireflies. Why did you pull me out of there while I was still unconscious? Maybe if you just would have given them more time, they could have figured something out.
There was no cure.
We flash back to Ellie visiting the hospital in Salt Lake City for the first time since the last game. Finally, Ellie gets her answers. Not answers she wants, but answers all the same.
Even if we found her, or by some miracle found someone else that's immune, it'd make no difference. Because the only person who could develop a vaccine is dead.
If you lie to me one more time, I'm gone. You will never see me again. But if you tell me the truth, I'll go back to Jackson. No matter what it is.
Making a vaccine would have killed you. So I stopped them.
Oh my god. Don't you fucking touch me! back. But we're done.
The flashbacks fill in some blanks for us about what happened to Joel and Ellie after the first game, but this was the chance to show us why Ellie needs to avenge Joel, but that never happens. So how do some of these conflicts play out?
Who do you think it is?
Someone who wants us to feel her love. You think she's related to the wolves?
I don't know.
It's kind of fucking weird.
The WLF are not alone in Seattle. There's a war tearing through the city, and Ellie is caught in the middle.
Fuck Seattle.
Dina gets a tip that Nora, another wolf on the list, is working at a nearby hospital. But between the hospital and Ellie are the Scaraphites. The Seraphites, or as the wolves call them, the Scars, are a deeply religious island tribe that follow a martyred prophet and avoid modern technology, and they are constantly at war with the WLF. The Seraphites are a great twist on The Last of Us' combat. The wolves are constantly yelling to each other while you fight them, letting you know where they are, how many are there, and whether they can see you. The Seraphites communicate through whistling while fighting, and you will start to understand those whistles before the game is over, but it shows us how fighting a low-tech enemy does not mean they're defenseless.
We could have killed you.
Maybe you should have. Or maybe you should have stayed the fuck out of Jackson. Where's Abby?
You still hear his screams? I hear them every night. Yeah. Yeah, that little bitch got what he deserved.
Fucking...
This sequence is exactly what I wanted from Ellie confronting a wolf. Nora is smart, she's quick, she knows how to toy with Ellie, but she's still bound by the rules of the infection that pervades this world, while Ellie is not.
No, wait.
Back up! Put your gun down!
You can walk away from this, okay? I can...
Shut the fuck up! Gun down! Hands up!
Get back!
You have nowhere to go.
And for the first time, we see Ellie's immunity not as a hope for humanity, but as a weapon.
You're breathing spores. You're her.
You Firefly?
There are no fireflies anymore. Think about what he did. How many people are dead because of him?
It's your last chance.
I'm not giving up, my friend.
And this might be the most threatening button prompt in the history of video games. But if you want to know where Abby is, you'll have to get it yourself.
She's hiding out in this aquarium. Okay.
Ellie returns, shaking and covered in Nora's blood.
Come on. Let's get you cleaned up.
But she got what she came for.
I made her talk.
And you would think Ellie would be prouder of what she's done. But this Ellie, our Ellie, is more in danger of losing her soul than fixing it.
I don't want to lose you.
You ever worried they're gonna come back to Jackson after us?
What do you mean?
I mean, we're going through a lot of their people. In their city.
Because of what they did.
Didn't Abby and her friends come to Jackson because of something Joel did?
You'll hear versions of this repeated throughout The Last of Us 2 about the cycle of violence. One team hurt another because the other team had hurt their people around and around so many times that no one even knows why these fights started or who is keeping score.
Go Team Jackson.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
To understand why players responded negatively to this game, you have to look at the game's relationship with the player. Violence is always depicted negatively in The Last of Us 2, but violence is how you advance the story. In plenty of encounters, you can't leave anyone alive. This isn't Undertale, you don't get a choice. The game gives you this playground and then criticizes you for playing on it. Deaths are brutal, enemies scream, gurgle on blood, their limbs are blown off, stealth kills close in on your victim's face. Their friends scream the name of their fallen compatriot. chariots. The final enemy in a fight might give up and beg for their life, and this happens for hours on hours. This game wanted me to feel bad for doing what it encouraged me to do. On my first run, halfway through Abby's story, I thought about quitting. Not because the game had made some point about empathy, but because I paid $60 for an experience that refused to let me enjoy it.
Stand up! Hands in the air, I shoot this one too. I know why you killed Joel. He did what he did to save me. There is no cure because of me. I am the one that you want. Just let him go.
You killed my friends. We let you both live. And you wasted it.
And then, in the game's most ambitious but misguided move, we rewind and play the last 3 days again as Abby.
Abby, don't.
I'll be back by morning. You just gotta cover me till then.
Isaac will kick your ass.
Not before the assault. You heard him, he needs me.
If Owen's out there, how the hell are you going to find him?
I know where he'll go.
Abby's campaign is the most important part of this experiment and, unfortunately, the weakest part of the game. Ellie's story peaks as Abby corners the Jackson team. Once we reset as Abby, the story we've been invested in for 12 hours loses all momentum. For this format to work, Abby's story has to be at least as compelling as Ellie's, and it isn't. I doubt it ever could be. We have a game and a half of emotional investment in Ellie. Even if Abby is equally justified, players wanted to see Ellie win. I know the game wanted us to see it differently than that, but it didn't give us a reason to. Do I see Abby as more than a revenge-fueled maniac now? Sure. Did I like her better on subsequent playthroughs? Yes. But do I care about Abby as much as Ellie? No. And the game made sure of that. If you watched my video on fixing Resident Evil 6, you remember after completing the first of 4 campaigns, we knew where the story was going, so there wasn't much left to surprise us for the next 15 hours. The Last of Us 2 has better gameplay than Resident Evil 6, nobody's doubting that, but still takes far too long to get back to the story we wish we were playing. We start with the all-important context: why did Abby kill Joel?
Doc, that girl showed up.
What girl? The one Marlene keeps talking about. They found her in the tunnels. She has an old bite mark on her arm. No signs of infection. That can't be. They're already running tests on her, but you gotta get down there.
Dad.
And we get our answer. The surgeon who was about to operate on Ellie
Doctor?
What are you doing in here?
was Abby's father.
Abby.
No!
Abby, don't look.
Dad! Dad! No!
Abby has been obsessed with tracking down Joel ever since, and she finally succeeded.
No! No! I'll fucking kill you!
Whoa, what are you doing? Manny.
Cleaning up.
No. We're here for him. That's it.
It's too risky to leave them alive.
Too fucking bad.
He's right. We can't have loose ends.
We killed them. We're no better than he was. They didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, look at my face.
Oh, fuck your face. You should have been guarding the upstairs like I told you to. Move! Back up.
Calm down.
Or what? Back the fuck up!
Calm down!
Now then! You gonna shoot me?
Stop!
We're done.
Abby. Oh.
What is novel about Abby's section is everyone we've spent time hunting and butchering as Ellie is not only alive again, but they're our friends. Some have said this setup is there to draw parallels between Abby and Ellie, but I don't know. Both Ellie and Abby wake to an uneventful morning where they're guided through their home by a male friend, pet a dog, trade uncomfortable conversation due to unresolved romantic feelings, meet with the colony's leader, defy the colony's leader on behalf of a loved one, and end up on the wrong corner of a love triangle where the other woman is pregnant. But besides that, Ellie's story lacked motivation, but Ellie had a clear goal: kill the wolves. But Abby doesn't have a goal. Like Ellie's friends, Abby's story doesn't complement, challenge, or reveal new information about Ellie's campaign. Hell, Abby doesn't even know Ellie's story exists until the end. What would a better companion story look like? A complementary story would be the flip side of what we just saw. Like a horror film, Abby is the final girl trying to protect her friends who are being killed one by mysterious trespassers. To challenge Ellie's campaign, Abby might learn that revenge is wrong, creating a contrast to what we did as Ellie. Or to reveal new information might mean the Jackson team thought they were getting away with everything, but it turns out the wolves had them under surveillance the whole time and are about to strike. But Abby's story is directionless and doesn't lead her to the choice she makes at the end to spare Dina. Abby also has 3 conflicts. First, Abby's friendship with Lev versus her allegiance to the wolves.
Do you know our dogs can play cards like that?
I'm 13, not 8.
You're the size of an 8-year-old.
Do other people think you're funny?
No.
Early in her story, Abby is about to be executed by the Seraphites when she's saved by a pair of teenage siblings. Yara, a Seraphite soldier, and Lev, a runaway who recently changed his gender expression and was cast out by the Seraphites for doing so. Yara's arm is crippled by the Seraphites, and Abby and Lev team up to help with Yara's treatment. In doing so, Abby learns to put her trust in people instead of factions. This is one of the few things that Abby's campaign does better. As a supporting character, Lev challenges Abby's deeply held beliefs and causes her to realign them. While Abby's campaign does humanize the wolves, we don't do the same for the Seraphites. Even once we visit their island, they are stiff, strict, and lack the humanity every other group is afforded. But most importantly, Lev shares some of the Prophet's teachings with Abby.
Can I give you some advice?
Oh my god.
Just think about the good parts to feel.
The good parts?
Yeah, like you run faster. You're more focused.
Oh, fuck.
You don't feel pain as much. Every bad feeling, your palms sweating, your heart racing, they're all signs you're actually stronger. So when you feel afraid, you should think about how your body is getting ready for what's coming. Only when weak may I carry my true strength.
For this game's mission to work, the player needs to believe Abby has learned revenge is wrong and believes that enough to make a different choice than she did with Joel. This was the chance to teach her, and by extension us, the game's most central lesson. And the game had set up an absolutely perfect way to teach Abby about selflessness and did nothing with it.
What's going on between you and your friend Owen?
Oh my god, Lev, now?
It seemed really awkward.
Just go!
Like Ellie's campaign, Abby has 3 flashbacks. First, back to Salt Lake City and the Fireflies, where a younger Abby and Owen have just started dating shortly before her father dies. Second, after they arrive in Seattle, Owen playfully taunts Abby for her fear of heights and shows off the abandoned aquarium he found. But Abby withdraws. Again.
You want me to slow down?
No.
Is it this?
I know all the leads have dried up. But Joel's still out there, you know?
I know. What can I do?
Let's go back. We can still make training.
You go ahead.
This clearly isn't the first time she's responded like this.
I'm sorry.
I told you already. Don't be sorry.
Abby is Owen's top priority, but Joel is Abby's top priority. We don't know which one of them ended things, but in our third flashback, Owen and Mel have decked out the aquarium together. Abby, of course, has to insert herself into Owen and Mel's competition, and it wouldn't be a visit to Owen without Joel.
Why are you in such a good mood?
Am I?
You should blow off training tonight. Abby, when the moon comes out...
I found Joel's brother. He's at a settlement out in Wyoming.
How do you know that?
Some Fireflies who served with him got picked up at the wall.
So, have these guys heard from him since?
It's a lead. I gotta see it through.
Did you tell the others?
Everyone's on board. Mel included. We can leave next week. Hey. We're doing this together, right?
Of course.
So, if Abby's quest to find Joel blunted her feelings for Owen, what happens when Joel isn't in the picture anymore?
A few days back, there were some Scar sightings out by the marina. Danny and Owen were sent on a sweep. And this morning, the guards found Danny collapsed by the perimeter fence. He'd walked himself back with a bullet in his stomach. Isaac talked with him until he passed.
Is Owen okay?
As far as I know.
Then why didn't you send a search party after him?
He shot Danny. Apparently to protect some scar.
That's not Owen. You got it wrong.
You're saying Danny used his last breath to lie to me?
Sir, people hear that story. Owen's dead. Anyone who finds him, they'll gun him down for sport.
Then I suggest you all stop gossiping about it.
This is a great start. Owen is accused of shooting a fellow wolf to protect a Seraphite and then going AWOL. The wolves' leader Isaac is amassing all the WLF for a full attack on the Seraphites' island to wipe them out for good, and he wants Abby and Manny to lead the assaults. The wolves and the Seraphites were partially inspired by the fighting between Israel and Palestine, which was a little uncomfortable in 2020 and hasn't gotten better. So Abby sneaks out to find Owen, clear his name, and get back in time to attack the Seraphites.
Fucking cruel. Isaac sends you after me.
He didn't. You defended yourself.
Stop.
I can fix this. I'll talk to Isaac.
I am tired, Abby. I don't want to fight over land that I don't give a fuck about anymore. I'm going to Santa Barbara.
To chase a rumor?
I've heard it more than once.
The Fireflies aren't regrouping. They're gone.
It's a lead. I gotta see it through.
What about Mel?
She'll be safe here.
You guys, I think they might still be attracted to each other. The second conflict, of course, is Abby's feelings for Owen versus his relationship with Mel. Owen has been disengaging from Mel, and we know he's never really gotten over Abby. But the third conflict that should be there is Abby's entire life changed when she lost her father. If she takes Owen from Mel, another child will grow up without a father because of Abby. Choosing to let Owen go could have been what teaches Abby empathy, but Ellie got to Mel and Owen first. And Ellie has literally left a map for Abby to find her. Once again, Abby succeeds not because she earned it, not because she was smarter or wanted it more, but because of another character's boneheaded mistake.
You killed my friends. We let you both live. And you wasted it.
Wait! Get off of her! Move me!
But making Ellie the final boss of Abby's campaign, this was brilliant. Between making us fight Tommy at the marina and then battle Ellie here, this was a great way to recontextualize the actions of characters we have a fondness for. I'd never seen this done before, and if the game had ended after this, 7 out of 10. Ellie is losing the fight, but Dina comes to her rescue.
Stop! She had nothing to do with this. She's pregnant.
Good.
The person we're supposed to be empathizing with, ladies and gentlemen.
Abby!
And in all the pain and rage we've been mired in for the last 20 hours, Lev is this game's soul. So Abby spares Dina without the game ever explaining why.
I have to finish it. I don't sleep. I don't eat. I'm not like you, Dina.
So what? I'm just supposed to sit here and wait for you? For God knows how long, just thinking you're fucking dead the entire time?
I don't plan on dying.
Yeah, well, neither did Jesse. Or Joel. Hey, stop. Hey, come on. We've got a family. She doesn't get to be more important than that. I'm not gonna do this again.
That's up to see you.
On my first 2 playthroughs, I felt the Santa Barbara sequence was unnecessary. The conflict between Ellie and Abby was resolved. Both sides agreed to a draw. But once we make our changes, the Santa Barbara sequence will be what defines The Last of Us 2.
Wait. You said Abby. You're looking for an Abby, right? We picked one up a couple months ago.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, no, big girl. Blonde. Arms like mine. She had a scrawny kid with cuts by his mouth. She's in a holding cell at our camp.
It's a tall round building. Where is that?
Head that way till you hit the railroad track. That'll lead you to a resort. We keep them in a tall, round building.
So the game wants us to consider empathy and forgiveness, then puts the most irredeemable, hate-worthy faction we've ever seen in front of us, and the only path forward is to carve them up. Sure, I could stealth my way through their compound, but why would I?
Abby tried to escape. She's down in the pillars.
The pillars?
Head down to the beach. You won't miss it. She's probably already dead.
Abby has been held captive for months and once again, through the power of dumb luck, tries to escape and is moved here just before Ellie busts in.
I got you. They're both this way.
But Ellie didn't come here to make amends.
I can't let you leave. I'm not doing this. No. I'm not gonna fight you. Yes, you will.
Finally, Ellie gets the fight she wanted. Abby is gaunt, her muscles atrophied, a shell of the person she was, but she fights for her life and for Lev's. Ellie fights for Joel, and just when she has the upper hand, Abby bites off 2 of Ellie's fingers. Ellie holds Abby under the water, finally getting what she's been consumed by when she flashes back to Joel on his porch, and Ellie releases Abby. The 2 reasons The Last of Us 1's ending worked so well were that it was clear to the player why Joel made the choices he did, and the game never told you how to feel about it. Unfortunately, The Last of Us 2's ending doesn't make it clear until later why Ellie, just seconds away from ending Abby's life, chose to let her go.
No. Just take him.
Leaving us all flabbergasted as Abby departs. It never told me how to feel, but I had no idea how to feel. Earlier I mentioned this game's antagonistic relationship with the player, and this is a great example of that. The game told us Ellie wants to kill Abby. The player met the worst faction in the franchise, sneaks or blasts their way through their compound through the thickest crowd of enemies in the whole game. We face off against Abby, who we've tried to kill for the whole campaign, win the fight, and then Ellie gives up out of nowhere and lets her go. How did they think players would respond to having their goal pulled out from under them with no explanation? Imagine if Joel shot his way through the hospital, got all the way to the operating room, saw Ellie on the table and went, nah. You'd feel confused and cheated, and you'd be right to. This moment is not enough payoff, and I felt robbed of the ending this game actually deserved. Ellie returns to the farm. Dina has left, but Ellie's stuff is still here, including the guitar.
Yeah, once we're done with this whole thing, I'm gonna teach you how to play guitar. Yeah, I reckon you'd really like that.
The guitar is a symbol of Ellie's connection to Joel. In the prologue, he offers to teach her. In early flashbacks, she enjoys playing it for him. When their relationship cools, he uses it to connect with her.
I see you haven't gotten around to changing the strings yet.
She finds one in Seattle when she's not out avenging him, and she plays the song he taught her. After Tommy's visit, what does she do when she's considering hunting Abby? And now, with 2 fingers less, she can't play certain chords anymore and has to leave this connection to Joel behind. And we get one final flashback.
I'm not trying to.
I was supposed to die in that hospital. my life would have fucking mattered. But you took that from me.
If somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
Joel took Ellie's chance to be a hero away from her, but she wanted to learn to forgive him. And I think that's the reason she chose to forgive Abby, something she never got to finish with Joel, because both she and Abby had their fathers taken from them. But the game leaves so much open to interpretation it feels sloppy, and the ending unsatisfying. And that's what we're about to fix. First, the bad news. The one change everyone wants is the one that we can't make. Like I mentioned in the BioShock Infinite video, we can't change the major plot points of the games we fix, because at some point you're not fixing the story anymore, you're just writing a new one. Which means we cannot change that Joel dies. Joel dying is the catalyst for everything that happens in The Last of Us Part 2, so much that I don't know what this game is without Joel dying. And maybe that's the game you wanted instead of the one that we got. But we're not writing an all-new version of The Last of Us Part 2, we're fixing this one. So Joel has to die. Second, if this game really is an experiment with the player to see if we can learn to choose empathy, then you have to test your theory by taking the leash off of us and see if we really are changed by this experience that you made. Finally, this game never should have been about the player walking a mile in Abby's shoes. It should have been about Ellie walking a mile in Joel's.
I'll go back, but we're done.
When Ellie learns what Joel has done, she's horrified. And then Abby and her crew put Ellie in the same spot that Joel was, watching the person you love the most die in front of your eyes. On her revenge quest in Seattle, Ellie reconnects with everything that Joel taught her, but she loses parts of herself too. The parts that made her Ellie, the person who would have given up everything to heal the world.
You have no idea what loss is.
Now that she knows loss like he does, Ellie will have to decide, like we all did, if Joel was right. But before we start, how would you fix The Last of Us 2? Let me know in the comments. As always, I'll go first. We open the same way, a recap of the first game's ending, a ride back to Jackson, and Joel offers to teach Ellie guitar. But next, we cut to Abby and her friends eating dinner in the cabin where they will eventually kill Joel. A last supper. We learn names, we see them interact, including a little quiet tension between Abby, Owen, and Mel. And we don't realize it yet, this touching display of friendship is the Mega Man or Dark Souls opening where we introduce all the bosses we'll be taking down. Abby thanks her friends for coming all this way to help her do this. She loves these people, and they would do anything for each other. Ellie wakes to a regretful morning, walks into town with Jesse, gets her bigot sandwiches, talks to Maria, who walks her past some traders as she tells Ellie,
Look, I don't know what's going on with you and Joel.
Maria.
Guy really cares about you. And I'm sure he didn't mean to.
We're fine.
Ellie, Dina, and Jesse ride out. We pull back to see Abby and Owen posing as traders. Abby and Owen ride back, noting the horse tracks of the patrols. Owen tells her about Mel being pregnant. Abby and Owen confirm everyone knows their positions, and she hops off. Abby loses her way, and we complete tutorials while she tries to find her rendezvous point. But instead of getting stuck behind the fence and finding Joel, Abby finds Ellie out on patrol with Dina. Ellie and Dina are separated by infected, and Ellie tells Dina to ride off for help. Ellie and Abby hold off the horde together. Now, for everyone who said Joel wouldn't fall for Abby's trap, I agree with you. But who would Joel run through fire for without a second thought? Ellie. Dina alerts Joel and he races to the scene to save the day. And for one last time, Joel gets to be a hero for Ellie. Tommy follows in close behind, and Ellie, Joel, Tommy, and Abby fight off the horde. They're getting overrun and have to fall back, but infected are blocking the trails back to Jackson. Abby mentions she's staying in the old cabin with her friends, and Ellie suggests they go. Joel says we don't know if it's clear, and Ellie insists that Joel doesn't call the shots. Joel relents, and they head into the cabin. They think they're safe, and Abby's friends appear from outside. They grab Tommy and Ellie, and Abby goes to work on Joel.
Who are you?
Guess.
No reasonable person would blame Ellie because Abby tricked her, but Ellie blames herself because she overruled Joel and now he's dead. Looking over the documents they left behind, the WLF were mapping the patrols around Jackson, noted Joel's interest in Ellie, and they lured the infected to block any trails that didn't lead back to the house. Their plan couldn't have gone off more perfectly. Tommy tells Ellie not to go after Abby, then takes off himself in the middle of the night. Maria asks Ellie and Dina to head to Seattle and bring Tommy back.
You gonna try to lock me up?
I'd prefer that you stay.
That's not gonna fucking happen.
I'd prefer that you stay, but I know you better. You going with her?
Yeah.
And now we erase The Last of Us 2's biggest twist by intercutting Ellie and Abby's campaigns chronologically instead of reaching the crescendo of Ellie's campaign and resetting. This is not that radical. Act 1 in Jackson was intercut between Abby and Ellie, and you'd be surprised how little is actually sequence broken. The biggest losses would be walking around the wolf base recognizing the people we eviscerated, which is a striking moment, but it didn't justify the hours of less interesting gameplay that followed. It also breaks a few introductions. For instance, Ellie's introduction to the Seraphites in the park on day 2 is our introduction to the Seraphites. But in this remix, Abby will have faced them over and over on day 1, and I like this moment, so we're giving it to Abby.
Oh, easy.
We start Act 2 with Abby and Manny touring the wolf base months after the events in Jackson. We already have Manny mentioning that Mel is avoiding Abby.
We've barely said a word to each other since Jackson. I'm just supposed to pretend that didn't happen?
Of course not. You guys need to talk about it. Be nice.
She wanted Joel dead as much as the rest of us.
And that the events in Jackson shook Mel up. But what about Abby? It's implied, but I'd like to focus more on the fact that Abby got the revenge that Ellie is seeking. Manny asks her if she still thinks about Jerry. Now, we haven't seen the flashback to Salt Lake City yet, so we don't know who that is. And Abby responds, every day. Manny asks if she still thinks about Joel, and Abby replies, less and less. After years of anguish, Abby is finally moving on. They chat up Jordan, grab Mel and Alice, head out to the fob, but get ambushed by Scars and crash their truck. Ellie and Dina ride into town, scale the wall, find the Saravina gate, but there's no power. They ride around Seattle, break into the synagogue and courthouse, grab the gas, and Ellie serenades Dina before they ride back to the Saravina gate.
You should have kissed me then. I wanted to.
Abby, Manny, and Mel fight through the hardware store, scale the boat, slip through the train yard, and survive the ambush before getting picked up by their friends. Ellie and Dina find the hotel empty besides a few infected. They find Nick's body and Tommy's handiwork.
That was definitely him. He's one of the ones that killed Joel.
They ride on, but the path is trapped. Ellie is out cold. Ellie has 3 flashbacks to Joel in Act 2, but I want to add one more. Something to drive her to do all of this. 4 years back, shortly after arriving in Jackson, Joel walks Ellie home from school. They'll be selecting roles in the community once she turns 16, and they're discussing what she might pick. Ellie asks Joel why he became a smuggler. He dodges the question, but she persists, and Joel tells her. On the night Sarah died, Tommy shot the soldier who pulled the trigger, but someone gave the order. A year after the outbreak, Joel and Tommy tracked down the QZ where the soldier's commanding officer was stationed with Fedra. They smuggled in Fedra uniforms and guns to blend in, snuck into his quarters, and Joel made sure he couldn't hurt anyone else again. And Joel realized he had a set of skills that people would pay him well for. Ellie asked Joel why he did that, and Joel replies, to set things right. She deserved better. Ellie asked if Joel felt better afterwards, and Joel said, yes. For the first time since the outbreak, he could sleep again. She asked Joel if he would ever do anything like that for her, and Joel replies, absolutely. Between feeling responsible for Joel's death and Joel teaching her that revenge solves problems, Ellie is heading down this path because she doubts her own judgment and trusts Joel's now more than ever.
How'd you find us?
I asked about a dude with a bitch scar across his face.
Ellie wakes face to face with Jordan. He's a little salty about the scar Ellie left on his cheek, but if he doesn't like that, he's gonna hate this.
Got you, motherfucker.
Dina and Ellie find a note from Leah about the TV station. Abby, Manny, and Mel arrive at the fob and meet with Nora, who's shipping out to the hospital. They find Isaac torturing a Seraphite and hear Isaac's plan to attack the island, and that Owen killed his partner to protect a Scar. Abby goes AWOL to find Owen, and here's where we have the intro to fighting the Seraphites in stealth instead of Ellie on day 2. Abby is captured and knocked out.
Leah.
Ellie and Dina locate the TV station and find Leah, who was already killed by the Seraphites along with the rest of her team.
That's her. That's the one who killed him.
3 down, right?
3 down.
They outrun the wolves into the subway where Dina learns Ellie really is immune.
Ellie, your mask. Here, we can share mine.
No!
Don't take it! Stop! Ellie, stop! Ellie, stop! What? No! Ellie, no!
Stop! I'm not infected. I'm immune. I'm not coughing, do you see?
They break into the theater. Dina tells Ellie she's pregnant. Ellie communes with Joel and flashes back to the Natural History Museum. Abby wakes, set to be hung by the Seraphites, but she's saved by Yara and Lev. Abby finds them shelter and continues on to the aquarium. Owen mentions the rumor of a firefly colony in Santa Barbara and that he's leaving without Mel. She reconnects with Owen, and that's the end of day 1.
This guy, Owen, he went AWOL.
Maybe Tommy got to him.
Maybe.
What about her?
Nothing yet.
Ellie wakes. Dina's mapping out the wolves' locations on the radio. But this time, let's hear Dina talk about how nervous she is to be a mother, but this will mean her life will matter. That resonates with Ellie for reasons we'll find out later. And Dina tells her she wants Ellie in her life with this baby. Ellie asks if she can count on Dina to focus on their task at hand, and Dina says yes. Ellie heads to Hillcrest looking for Tommy, but finds Jesse. Jesse reunites with Dina, but Dina lies to Jesse about the pregnancy. And let's see her going through worse than the typical morning sickness. Like, we don't know if Dina's pregnancy is in danger, but she knows this is important to Ellie, so Dina is pushing herself to continue. Ellie sees what Dina is doing and goes along with the lie. We flash back to the hotel 2 years ago and Joel telling Ellie,
"There was no cure."
We get our first dream where Abby runs down the hospital corridor and sees Yara and Lev dead in the operating room. She rescues them and brings them back to the aquarium.
Those scars?
I need whatever medical supplies you have. Put the phone down, it's okay! Alice, shut up! Put the phone down! Alice!
Mel is here now, but she's bearing bad news. She came to tell Owen that Nick, Jordan, and Leah are dead. Abby wonders aloud if this has anything to do with Jackson. Mel says Isaac got word of trespassers from Jordan's unit just before they were all killed, and there were no scars in the area. Abby wants to gather everyone, but now she and Owen are both missing from duty. If they go near the base or reveal their location, they'll be captured. Mel agrees to try to reach out to Manny and Nora. Mel looks at Yara's arm. It needs to come off, but they don't have the supplies here. Abby is preoccupied with warning Manny and Nora, but Lev offers to show Abby a way to get to the hospital quickly and warn her friend if Abby will help save Lev's sister. Now Abby has a tangible reason to team up with Lev so she can warn Nora, and Lev shows Seraphite bridges to a wolf if it means saving Yara. They're both betraying their warring factions to protect the ones they love. As Abby and Lev leave, here's where Owen asks Abby to come to Santa Barbara with him instead of later in the gift shop, for a second chance. And she's considering it. Ellie stitches herself up with Dina.
This girl, Nora, her unit was assigned to this hospital.
Ellie asks Jesse to join her, but he wants to stay behind. Jesse asks about Dina feeling sick, and Ellie lies to him. Worried he'll insist she go back. She kicks herself for not being truthful as she travels across the city alone. Abby and Lev travel through the Seraphite throughways, and Lev asks Abby why her friends are in trouble. She gives him the high level about a bad man who is friends with these people, and Abby killed him. Lev asks her if killing him stopped what the bad man was doing. Abby says no, what he did was years earlier. And Lev is confused because killing him didn't change anything. Abby says, then I guess I did it for me. Lev asks if it made her feel better, and Abby says it helped her move on. Lev asks if these people are hunting Abby so they can move on. Lev tells Abby their prophet believes revenge doesn't end pain, it just passes it to someone else. They cross the bridge and work their way to the hospital, where Abby talks her way in until the guards realize she's AWOL and put her in cuffs.
She's been AWOL since yesterday. Give me your hands.
And now the wolves don't know they've gift-wrapped Abby for Ellie, who is on her way to the hospital. We cut the first Seraphite encounter because we gave it to Abby, but we keep the second. So now Ellie has met the scars. Nora uncuffs Abby. Abby warns Nora about their dead friends, and Nora says she's safe here amongst all the guards. Nora tells her the supplies Abby needs are on the lower floors and guides her down there. Abby descends and fights the Rat King.
Abby was here earlier. Where'd she go?
At the same time this is going on, Ellie sneaks into the hospital and confronts Nora. Ellie chases her, they drop down to the basement.
I'm fucking dead anyway. Why would I tell you anything?
Because I can make it quick. Or I can make it so much worse.
Ellie corners Nora and beats the aquarium's location out of her. Abby defeats the Rat King, but instead of leaving the lower floors through the parking garage, Abby looks for an exit, opens a door, and finds what's left of Nora. Now she is certain her friends are being hunted, and here she is again, finding someone she loves dead in a hospital. Now we see the flashback to Salt Lake City. Abby helping her dad free the zebra, her dad insisting on operating on Ellie, and finding him dead in the OR. Abby returns to the aquarium and has a quiet moment with Owen where she agrees she'll go to Santa Barbara with him. Ellie comes back to the theater, tells the team about the aquarium, and Dina takes care of Ellie. And now we see Ellie discovering the truth about Joel's massacre.
Don't you fucking touch me! I'll go back. But we're done.
Ellie wakes on day 3. Jesse asks her if Dina is pregnant, and Ellie confesses. Jesse wants to take Dina back, but Ellie won't leave without Tommy. Jesse agrees to help Ellie track Tommy down if they leave after, and asks Ellie, how would you feel if someone lied to you about something that important? Working through the city, Jesse mentions the wolves will come after Jackson. Ellie says that's why we have to get all 8. If we get them all, there's no one left to push the wolves to retaliate. If they leave the job half done, people in Jackson will die. For Dina and her baby's safety, they have to finish this. Abby wakes at the aquarium. Mel is operating on Yara. Abby busts in and asks Mel if she reached Manny, but Mel dismisses her, saying she couldn't reach his unit and to get out of her OR. The surgery is a success, and Mel tells off Abby for suddenly being interested in protecting scars just after Owen protects one.
He may fall for your little act with these kids, but I don't.
That now she has to lie to Isaac to protect Abby, and how tempted Mel was to give Abby up to Isaac if it meant Owen never saw her again. And she didn't, because Mel honestly believes if Abby was captured, Owen would turn himself in and leave Mel behind. It's a heartbreaking admission that Mel knows she cannot win against Abby. Yara and Lev fight about going to Santa Barbara without their mother. Lev would do anything to protect his mother, even turn himself in if he has to. And that resonates with Abby, who also lost a parent. Owen asks Abby about coming to Santa Barbara, and Abby tells him she doesn't want to be the reason any child grows up without a father, and tells him to take Mel, Yara, and Lev with him. She'll find her own way down. But first, they're going to lock down the aquarium, making it impossible for whomever's after them to get inside. Unfortunately, Lev steals the boat and heads for the island. Abby is stuck between helping Owen and going after Lev because she can't protect everyone, and Mel tells her pointedly to leave. So Abby and Yara go after Lev.
Sniper spotted in 12. I repeat, sniper sighted at the marina, likely a trespasser. Any nearby units report. Over.
Shit. You 4, take the land bridge to the marina. The rest of you, we hold here and wait for orders. They'll have more than enough people to take care of one sniper.
We can get to the marina through here.
No, we're taking their boat.
You heard them, right? They're talking about Tommy.
Ellie and Jesse plan to steal a boat, but they hear radio chatter that sounds like Tommy's at the marina. Ellie reminds Jesse that killing all of them keeps his baby safe. Jesse reminds her his baby would be safe if Ellie had never come to Seattle.
You do this, I'm not saving your ass again.
They split up, but let's see the cost of Ellie abandoning her friends. Maybe there's obstacles Ellie had to cross that would be much easier with 2 people, but with Jesse gone, she has to take much more convoluted or dangerous approaches to reach the aquarium.
Get down!
Abby hears shots at the marina and finds Manny. Manny tells her someone's trying to kill them, and Abby says, I know. They dodge sniper fire on their way into the marina, and we recognize the absolute bastard trying to blow us to pieces is Tommy. We think we have him cornered, and Manny drops his guard at the wrong moment. Tommy and Abby come face to face for the first time since Jackson, but Yara saves her and Tommy goes for a swim. Abby wants to return to the aquarium to warn Owen and Mel about Tommy, but the wolves are about to wipe out the Seraphites Island, and Lev could die if Abby and Yara don't reach him first. With no good options, Abby and Yara plan to slip onto the island and grab Lev before the invasion and then book it back to the aquarium.
May her light guide us through the storm.
When you're lost in the darkness, look for the light.
What's that?
Something my dad used to say.
Abby and Yara take a boat to Scar Island and find Lev's house, but this time his mother is still alive, and she's attacking him for shaving his head and disgracing her. Abby steps between them to protect Lev, but Mom pulls a knife on Abby. Mom slumps over, and we see a knife in Mom's back and a frozen Lev behind her. Lev is horrified by what he's done. He got revenge, and he hated it. Abby and Yara try to explain to Lev that he protected Abby, but Lev says he's sorry to his mother and wishes more than anything he could go back and choose differently.
Don't let her get away!
Ellie picks off the wolves in the mall and steals the boat. Abby, Lev, and Yara sneak through the village, but they're cornered by the wolves and Isaac. Isaac tells Abby Mel informed him she'd be coming. Yara kills Isaac and dies so Abby and Lev can escape. They ride through the burning village and find a boat, departing while the Seraphites and the wolves destroy each other. There is no winner here, just ruin and death.
Fuck you, Owen. Hands up. Where's Abby?
You're that girl from Jackson.
Tell me where she went. How do we know you won't kill us?
Give her what she wants and we're dead.
You guys can survive this. I just need her.
But Owen won't give her up. Ellie threatens Mel if Owen won't talk, and Owen says no. Mel is shocked that he'd protect Abby over her, and they start arguing for just long enough to distract Ellie and jump her.
Fucking Christ!
Tell me where Abby is. Where the fuck is she?
Tommy and Jesse arrive, but this time Ellie does not leave a literal map to their hideout.
It's all right. Come on, let's go.
They hear somebody entering, and the three depart.
It's all right.
Abby and Lev arrive and find Mel and Owen dead. Abby near collapses. She got her revenge on Joel, and it has cost her everyone she loves. Lev notes the bodies are still warm, and there's 3 sets of shoe prints in their blood. Lev always wanted to be a soldier. Between what Abby learned from her father and what Lev learned from Yara, they track Ellie, Tommy, and Jesse in the storm. Abby recognizes them all from Jackson and follows them back to the theater. Lev asks Abby if she's going to get revenge, and Abby says she's going to make sure they can't hurt anyone else. And Lev asks her, isn't that why they're after you and your friends? The Jackson crew come back to the theater and discuss their exit strategy. Ellie doesn't want to leave, but she sees Dina vomiting. She thinks of Mel and relents. It's time to go home.
They got what they deserved.
But she gets to live.
Is that okay?
It has to be.
Tommy heads to the lobby and everyone hears a scuffle. They run to the lobby, Abby shoots Jesse, and Ellie finds Abby and Lev holding Tommy at gunpoint.
Stop! Stop!
You killed my friends. We let you both live. And you wasted it!
Wait!
Tommy distracts Abby and gets shot.
Move me!
Ellie runs for the stage. We take control of Abby and pursue Ellie. We fight backstage, corner Ellie, Dina saves her, and Abby pummels Dina. But Ellie strikes. She stabs Abby through the shoulder and pins her to the wall. Ellie retrieves something from a bag. a golf club, stands menacingly and repeats Abby's words, "You don't get to rush this." And in that moment, Abby sees herself, sees the person she was when she stood over Joel. An arrow hits Ellie's shoulder and Lev grabs Ellie from behind. Abby frees herself and sees that Dina's incapacitated. Ellie struggles to free herself from Lev, but she can't. Abby picks up the golf club and tells Lev to let Ellie go. Abby tells Ellie,
"Don't ever let me see you again."
And they leave Ellie alive, surrounded by what's left of her friends.
We got a tip about a base, but there's no one here. We're looking for fireflies. I'm a firefly.
Months later, Dina and Ellie are living a perfect life. Sort of. Tommy asks Ellie to follow up on a lead in Santa Barbara.
He told me about a woman that he traded with while he was moving through California. Described her as built like an ox, traveling with a kid with scars across his face.
Ellie packs up and leaves Dina behind. And here's where we make a big change. Instead of the slaver colony at the resort, it is the Fireflies. The survivors have regrouped and formed a new community, and Abby and Lev are a part of it. They're happy here, accepted. It's everything Jackson was to Ellie before Abby took that away. Ellie poses as a traitor and surveys the area. Abby and Lev are living in the large round building, and you, the player, decide how or if you're going to infiltrate the colony and kill Abby. Hold up, I know I said this at the top of the video. You can't change them, that's what Joel chose. Wait, who are you? Oh my, are you seeing that? Wait, anyway, no, so why would you get a choice now? Because The Last of Us 2 isn't Ellie's story. Or Abby's. Listen to Neil Druckmann describe his game one more time.
We just need more empathy. Wouldn't it be awesome if we could create an experience that lets you safely explore those feelings?
The Last of Us Part 2 is a game about you. Could they convince us to hate Abby and then convince us to forgive her? But the problem with this entire experiment is he never lets us answer. Letting the player answer is the only way to test if this experiment worked, and Naughty Dog has to accept some people will go through this entire campaign and still choose violence. In this version, the player will answer through gameplay. Do you slip into the colony undetected, sparing any Fireflies who have done you no wrong? Or do you mow down everybody between you and what you want? In this mirrored version of the first game's ending, the player will finally decide what we've all debated since 2013, was Joel right? This would require multiple endings, and the best one wouldn't be for coming here face to face with Abby and forgiving her, it would be for walking away. I want the player to have the choice to see Abby back with her people again, the closest thing possible to a happy ending for her, and leave her alone. Depending on your actions, you can quietly sneak in and wake Abby at gunpoint, or burn the building down and force everyone outside to grab Abby in the chaos. You force her down to the beach where no one can see you. Lev pounces from behind, but Ellie knocks him out easily and threatens him if Abby won't fight. Abby agrees, but only if she can bring Lev down to the beach. She does, and we see Abby carry Lev the way Joel carried Ellie. Abby has one request. If you win, you let Lev go. And this sinks in for Ellie as we see Abby is Joel to Lev. If she kills Abby, she puts Lev in the same place she was. She doesn't end the pain, she passes it to someone else. They fight, but this time we see what Ellie's thinking during the fight.
Hey. I have no idea what that girl's intentions are, but I do know that she would be lucky to have you.
I was supposed to die in that hospital. My life would have fucking mattered, but you took that from me.
If somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
I'd like that.
Okay. I'll see you around.
And you choose, was Joel right? Or does Ellie learn that what may have brought Joel peace won't bring her the same? As it was in the first game, the only correct interpretation is yours. So, how did we do? The Last of Us Part 2 might not be the game you wanted, and my version might not be either, but it is a game about us, about how we cope, how we survive, and hopefully how we move on. This was a brave title that took risks and committed to them. Even if every choice didn't pay off, it should be commended for trying. While it may be unrelentingly bleak and push us towards a message some of us might not agree with, it's also a game about defining who you are. And maybe players were so put off by it because almost every other game asks us to be bloodthirsty, while this one asks us to be better. As the first game told us, and now more than ever, when you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. As a reward, use the word cabbage in the comments when you tell me how you would fix The Last of Us 2, and I'll reply to any comment with cabbage in it. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button. It really does help me share this with more people, and subscribe so you can catch the next video too. Thanks, and have a great day.